What's up, dudes? Max here with an update to the most anticipated next-gen title out there, Mortal Kombat X. A lot of you guys have been following this channel for news and updates, and the last time the big trailer dropped was for Quan Chi and I was away, and I wanted to talk a bit about this character, as well as some other rumors that have been dropping for another character that's extremely popular amongst the Mortal Kombat franchise, Kenshi. But really quick, let's talk about Quan Chi, the illustrious side of the cabinet box art character from Mortal Kombat 4. The funniest thing about Quan Chi actually making an appearance and being kind of one of the earlier appearance characters in Mortal Kombat X is that he's kind of the only legacy character from Mortal Kombat 4 that was original to that game that made it out. I don't think there's really any other characters that were kind of memorable from MK4, and that game was kind of freaking ridiculously disappointing. It was one of the first, or was the first 3D MK, and there's a lot of extremely jank stuff to that game. But Quan Chi made it out, and he made it into a lot of MK games past. And the funny thing is that I never found him as a very interesting or captivated character. I always thought he looked kind of like Death from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. But what they did with him in this game is sheer brilliance. And what the MKX guys keep on doing is impressing me by how they are adjusting things just enough to make it look really damn cool and to actually captivate my interest. The crazy thing about Quan Chi and his gameplay, as you guys are seeing his variations and what he can do in the new game, is that he looks like he's taking a lot of different things from Raven. And Raven in Injustice had some of those sorceress type of attributes where she can grab you and make you do certain puppeteering things. And even Zatanna had some stuff like that as well, where they kind of grab you from a very far distance where their magic reaches that certain range. The stuff that looks absolutely amazing in my opinion, and just almost makes me want to play the character even though I'm not a Quan Chi fan in any way at all, is that teleportation stuff where he's got the portals that open in front and behind him, and he sticks his foot through them to kick you in the ass, and he throws his body through them. I kid you not, dude, that stuff looks freaking fantastic, and they're doing a really good job with how creative this character looks and how he fights. The other thing I love is one of the other variations he has, which gives him this giant bat, this crazy epic looking creature that you can use pretty much as an assist. You can't spam it in any way because once you use it, it has a cooldown and you have to resummon the bat, but you kind of do use it like an assist, like from the Versus games from Capcom. You kind of cover yourself with it, you make things safe, and the different types of ways that you can actually play Quan Chi, like we've seen with the other characters, is extremely varied. Like how you use the portal version to the one with the bat and all these different variations is way different. And I kid you not, the lighting that happens during his fatality or his X-ray, the way this looks is brilliant. It's really freaking cool. And as I've seen the game in person myself really close and looked very closely at the graphics, MKX is absolutely gorgeous, like a really beautiful next generation fighting game. And it seems that they're even doing a lot more stuff with the lighting since I played it at E3, which was almost 5 months ago now. So Quan Chi, I haven't had a chance to give my impressions, but I'm impressed. I do think that they're doing a really good thing with this character, and they're making him a lot cooler than the Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey dude with a bunch of face paint. The other big piece of news that's kind of on everyone's mind, anyone that follows Ed Boon and looks to his tweets for information and stuff like that, because Ed is very obvious with a lot of his spoilery type of information bits that he puts out, is about Kenshi, which is a character that originally started in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. What I like about Kenshi is that he's one of the more legitimate, just cool as shit characters, and I'm not talking about Sub-Zero. Kenshi's this blind swordsman, and every single game he's in, he's always been that character looks really freaking cool. I've always been captivated and wanted to play him in the previous PlayStation 2 versions of MKs. And between all the characters that a lot of people would be waiting for, some ones that are going to be making returning appearances and others that are going to be new characters, Kenshi would be pretty freaking cool. We didn't anticipate Quan Chi at all, but based off these couple of tweets that Ed has been dropping over the past couple of days, I think it's a very high probability that Kenshi might be the next character that's being announced for Mortal Kombat X. The first one was a very obvious nod of a picture that Ed put up from the motion capture studio where they're recording the animations for the game, and a dude is very obviously in a Kenshi-style pose, either totally screwing around with people, but Ed usually doesn't totally mess with people. A lot of the times when he puts a picture out or a tweet that seems like it's referring to something, it's obviously referring to something. And usually, if he's unprovoked and not just responding to somebody else, this information ends up kind of happening a week or two down the line. So this one was okay. I'm okay, Ed, you captivated my interest. But then a couple weeks later, he started talking about Kenshi unprovoked on Twitter once again. And I'm like, okay, I think we got a pretty good hint at what could potentially be coming next for Mortal Kombat X. I'm kind of surprised that this character is not going to be an original, because we have not seen another original character in quite some time since the initial debut of the game. But I understand that. They still have some time before April. Mortal Kombat X keeps looking better and better, and a lot more people are getting their hands on the game as a lot more gameplay impression videos have been popping up over the last few days. The other thing I'll let you guys know is that on Wednesday, the Mortal Kombat guys are going to be holding a live stream of MKX in their developer house. So if we want to look at stuff like Quan Chi, like in action, and other characters just like kind of doing cool stuff, we can see it with really good, well-captured stuff instead of dudes with phones at like events and things like that. So that's what's going around with Mortal Kombat X right now, guys. I'm going to do my best to try to get some questions to these guys to see if we can find out more about the netcode, because as you all know, I'm a huge purveyor that netcode and the overall quality of the online experience is really important for fighting games, and a lot of the previous NetherRealm online games have not performed great in the netcode department, but they all have really, really good modes, and variety to the online like matchmaking and all the different things it does to get people together is really smart. It's just kind of a burden when you get into playing the matches. It just doesn't handle distance very well, and it kind of causes a bit of lag. So I'm hoping that with the next generation, of course, that things like that could be alleviated, because we have not had an amazing Mortal Kombat game online yet. We have a lot of amazing modes, we have all the cool stuff that's like, revolved around multiplayer, but the actual fight has kind of been lacking in comparison to some other fighting games. As always, dudes, stay tuned for more Mortal Kombat X news. As soon as that stream is done on Wednesday, we'll break down some of the stuff that we did see, and we'll be back with some of the more hinted characters that could be potentially showing up in Mortal Kombat X later this year. And I'm anticipating that the next one we're going to see based off all this information is most likely Kenshi. As always, dudes, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.